Shane Fowler. I'm ready to go pick up a 67 GT350.
So you're the boss then, is what they're saying.
I pay the bills.
What's our game plan when we get over there? I mean, the lady's going to be there.
I'm Rosemary Smith. The car belongs to my husband, Alvin Smith. Already, everything that could try to go wrong has.
Like what?
I got stung by a wasp. I couldn't get the truck cranked to get it out of the way. Turned out I had the wrong key.
Where is it? How far is it? Tell me a little bit about what we're going to do.
The car's about 1.5 2 miles away. And it's in the garage, sort of behind the house. First step is, we'll take pictures of everything first. But
I'm Ken Fowler. We're going to pick up a 67 Shelby.
Then we'll move as much of the stuff away from the car.
My goodness, y'all. If I'd have known you were for hire.
Now, how emotional is this going to be for her? What's her state?
It's pretty emotional. I mean, they've owned the car. You know, she surprised her husband with the car in 79, 80 time period. You know, and he loved that car. It was really important to him. So it's a big deal. She's, you know, a little emotional about selling it, but it's also I think a point of moving on now.
Who are you two? I thought maybe you were neighbors that were going to complain on the street.
This is my friend Conrad Fry.
Conrad, how you doing?
And it's his son.
Hello, how you doing?
How's it going?
And his girlfriend Elizabeth.
Okay.
She gets drug on all these things with us.
Good. So, what do you think of all this, Conrad?
Well, I think we definitely have a big job ahead of us. Pretty cool stuff, though. 1967, that's the year I was born.
So, what's the history on this car?
The history on this car? We acquired the car in 1980? When did about 1980?
Al said 79. I figured 79.
Yeah, I knew it was in that time frame, yes. And he and his best friend, John Gregory, who lives in Aberdeen, Maryland, loved Shelby's. And John bought himself one, and of course Al was wanting one too. So Al was looking for a Shelby to buy. And one night, one early wee morning, about 3 o'clock in the morning, the doorbell rang. And John showed up at the door and said, "Smythe, my boy, here's your keys." And Al said, "Huh?" Yeah, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. And Al drove him home in the Shelby and then drove it back home. You know, he just lived a short distance away. And he had found the car in Kentucky, and he flew up there and bought the car for Alvin and then brought it back. And of course we paid him for it, but Alvin was thrilled. And I think he paid $4,000 for it.
Good morning, it's Mike Hill. We're going to uncover some unusual pieces, plus we don't know what's there, so every box we open is going to be a new prize.
So, what'd you find here, Rosemary?
This is a presentation that Dan Baker made for my husband back in 1968. They were in Vietnam together. And this one is my husband, and this one is Dan Baker. And they were with D Troop Air Cav Unit, 1st Squadron, 10th Cav. And
They never got it back.
Dan's aircraft went down, and Al went down and pulled him out. And he was very grateful. And he had this thing made up with the story on it. And when he came to visit us, he presented it to my husband.
So, he had a really interesting life, right?
Yeah, he's all over the world. Vietnam, everywhere. Then he was, I guess, he told me he was a night stalker, which I think is a special ops helicopter group. So.
Can you just run by, I mean, a little bit about Al? I mean, is this emotional for you? It's got to be pretty emotional.
It is very emotional. It's the hardest decision I ever made in my life. Al had a stroke May the 28th of 2016 and has not recovered from it. He's just a minute.
It's okay.
You shouldn't have said the word emotion. See, it's all your fault.
You've been doing great.
Yeah, I've been doing great, doggone it. Now I'm falling apart.
That's okay.
The first time we saw her, she was pretty much in tears every couple of minutes, and then now she's getting a lot better. She, she's sort of accepted it and actually, happy to make changes in her life that she needed to make.
He's in a nursing home. He's bedridden. He can't do much of anything. He can't even push the button to call the nurse. So I had known that eventually I would have to do something about the cars. I mean, they can't sit there forever. It's a waste. It's just wrong. So I had talked with Ken several times, and he told me that when I got ready to sell the cars, to give him a call, and he and Shane would come and talk with me about how to go about selling them, because it is a special car.
Shane, I found the transmission.
Found the transmission?
Or one.
What'd you find?
Looks like the transmission.
We need all of the bolt.
Why don't we clear off some space?
Yeah.
More boxes, we can use boxes for sure.
So we'll do that.
That's definitely a 4-speed. Yeah, that's the transmission. It's the original one.
What is it?
It's the original transmission.
How can you tell?
VIN number stamped on the bottom. 7R02K. I'll stop there. That's enough.
You have a mountain of paperwork here.
Yeah, and I haven't had a chance to go through it all completely.
That's where it is.
What's that?
That's the Shelby VIN plate.
Oh, that's the big deal there.
Yeah. I've been looking for it. I just found it. This is the first invoice for the car where it was supposed to have the supercharger. And then you can see it's written void across it. So.
Anyway, he can call every now and then to check on Al and to see if I had changed my mind about being ready. And I finally said yes. And he and Shane came over and checked out the car and decided they wanted to purchase it, or Shane did. And they did.
So what do you think? So how long since you've seen the car?
Oh my goodness.
Okay.
So that's the tail lights.
How long?
At least 5 years. See right here, these were places that he felt he had to work on.
Yeah, you circle the dents to be
Yeah.
Not sure there.
Me either.
Let's see how the doors open and shut.
Sure.
Those little tiny hole pockets.
Why don't we get this stuff out of here?
Line up pretty good.
I know it does actually.
Guys, and they really didn't know what it was going to do. And Alvin
What is this right here?
This thing rotates everything.
It looks like he did a
Well,
well
somebody had to do
here.
it.
It was just he sanded it down.
And
Probably maybe a little bit of surface rust he was
it
trying to
didn't
get
do
off.
bad at all, so they kept it.
Well, I mean, I figure in here, we're just gonna start in here, and once we move the car out of the way.
Yeah.
They go from the top down.
This is some overspray from when it was first put together. That's the original color, lime gold. And that's the color it's going to be.
I think he took it apart somewhere between 2003 and 2005. So it's been sitting here for at least that long. The car is up on jack stands with no suspension at all. So I have a car dolly that we built. So we're going to bolt the car onto the dolly and hopefully roll it right out of there and into the trailer.
Well, I can get it in, but it won't go. You can't have the thread stick out.
You need to go your way a little, Shane. Camera. A little more.
I said all the years that he had the car and we knew about it, and he would come here and talk and to the garage and stuff, but he never let us see the car. He always said he didn't want us to see it till he was finished. So it wasn't till just a couple weeks ago that I saw the car.
Is that crazy?
Yeah.
So what'd you think when you first saw it?
It was way worse than we expected. I mean, I didn't know it was totally disassembled. I didn't know how much work he had done to it. And it totally disassembled. You know how when he took the car apart sometime between 2003 and 2005 in that time period. So you know how it is when a car sits in a garage, it becomes a shelf. So it's covered in everything. He hadn't really modified it. He has all the parts to modify.
Big screwdriver or something I can pry it into place.
Here.
That's the lowered coil springs for lowering the car. These are the leaf springs to lower. It was everything. He was going to resto mod the car to drive it. He wasn't going to do anything but bolt on stuff. Upper control arms, but he was planning to do all that so he could drive it the way he wanted. Lower control arms, disc brakes for the rear, disc brakes for the front. Can't really see them.
Sorry.
A little blood, never hurt anybody.
Oh my goodness. Shane, you're right, it worked.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that.
We roll them all around the house. Package to put the 5-speed in it. And it's a Heasley T45 5-speed for it. That's never been installed. Thought so, yeah.
Makes you hurt.
I'll be real.
Yeah, it makes it hard.
Hey. Yeah, hold on. Well, we gotta move this And after it's out of the way, the next step is to start boxing up and going through all of the parts. They're just on shelves.
So what'd you get here, Mike?
Yeah, it's the grill for the front of the car.
Al is very patriotic and he's got flags everywhere.
What'd you find?
This is the original dash cluster with the 140 speedo, RPM.
Which is the hood support on rear. This is where the two inboard headlights bolt for the 67 Shelby. Right there. Shelby unique part. It looks like original fiberglass for the extractor scoops, air extractor scoops
Yeah,
up on the
I'm
side
gonna
of
need
it.
them with.
On the side of the roof. We have the two brake duct scoops. Look like they're originals.
Okay.
They got some green on the inside. Yeah, anything with green on it's probably original.
Yeah, I'm gonna start. Eagle beagles will go on.
What we find now?
Gauge, Shelby gauge pod with Stuart Warner gauge.
Oh wow.
The original one.
What do you got there, Shane?
The bumper brackets. Should be the extended ones for a Shelby. There's that. That's the cross member in the front. And some orange in there. Make sure we have all the parts and empty everything out.
You kind of have to be an expert to know if everything's there, right? What do you think?
Gotta know a little bit. I don't know that we will know 100%. Seven C 117 date code. So most of the parts on the car have been from March like that. So it's car was built in April. So the date code's right. Over this weekend, over the next couple of weeks, we're probably going to reassemble the car completely. You know, pretty much to see what's there and what's not there. And I've already talked to Miss Smith. We can go back and look if we don't seem like we find anything, and if she finds anything in the house or attic, wherever, she'll always call me on that. And if we find something missing, we can go kind of search for it.
Don't you think this car would have been very hard for her to sell to a stranger, or what do you think about that?
Yeah, I don't think she could have sold it to a stranger. You know, she's really happy that it was somebody that Al knew, because I liked Al. He came here, he came regularly and hung out here at the garage, which anybody around town who likes Mustangs and Shelbys usually does, and come around, and he would come and hang out, have a beer with us, work and talk about the cars.
Now, where are you going to park it?
Today we'll probably roll it in here on this side for now.
Oh, we're going to roll it right in here.
Yes, we're gonna have too many cars apart right now. You know, things always happen when you have too many things. We have 2 cars apart in the work side of the garage, so I don't really have much room for it right now. So we'll roll it here on this side.
Well, that's a good idea. That's why you cleared this out, huh?
I cleared this side out right now. We should finish the little 84. We'll go back together probably within a week. So when it's back together, then we have room for it over there.
Okay. How long do you think it'll take to restore the car?
Year, maybe 2. I'm shooting for a year. I have it already lined up with paint to go to paint, so we'll see how that goes. They're usually the people I've been using for that are usually they go pretty quick.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shane can take all of the Mustang parts that he finds, because as of now, I'm out of the Mustang business.
I could run that too.
It's upsetting for you,
And
isn't it?
you can't find a good lane, right? No, I agree. I drove from Hub City to this shop.
Baby,
One of those car shows.
this is pudding.
Yeah, I wasn't.
He's upset the car's gone?
Yeah.
I mean, I think you know, Jonathan wouldn't be so bad.
Is he acting a little different?
They are.
Yeah. Very needy. Pudding's never been needy.
You really think it has something to do with the car?
Oh, yeah. See, I'm a spoiled, rotten girl. Yes, I am. But somebody took my favorite sleeping place away. You're all right. It's going to be fine. I'm going to make you a sleeping place in the studio. Okay? I promise. Mama going to make you a place. Anybody know anybody who wants a little black dog?